Hi everyone, this is Meenakshi Ramesh from tapyourwaytohealing.com. As we continue to do the series of videos in April, celebrating and honoring neurodiversity and autism, I have a guest here for today's show. Her name is Sadhana Dharmaraj, and I am super excited to connect with her after all these years. Thank you, Sadhnaka, for taking the time because she's my she was my senior in college, Fatima College, Madurai, and I'm super excited to be having this conversation with her. The topic is going to be again neurodiversity, autism, and learning disabilities. Before we get started, I'd like to read Sadhana Dharmaraj's bio. Sadhana Dharmaraj is a highly experienced speech language pathologist with experience in apraxia, articulation, and expressive language disorders, skilled in providing cognitive behavioral therapy and addressing developmental challenges in children. She is also the director of ACM School for Children with Learning Disabilities and consultant for ABB Autism Center. She is the author of 4 volumes of the Skill Developmental Manual and a life coach at Educare Personality Development Center. She is also an online instructor on Udemy, empowering individuals worldwide to support children with special needs. She's a speech language pathologist with 6 years of experience, specializing in apraxia and articulation, as I read in the bio. And she has won a lot of awards along with authoring these manuals and creating these courses on Udemy. I checked out her courses this afternoon before I joined with her on the call. Very, very impressive. And I'd like the audience to please check it out. It's both of us come from the background of home science. We did our undergrad in home science, and we have studied some courses on child development and family practice, family relationships. So it's so humbling and honoring to know that Sadhana has actually taken this work and taken it further to serve this population, which really needs a lot of support and help. So now over to Sadhnaka with my questions. So like I said, we have done a little bit of child development in our undergrad courses. So what got you interested in working and helping children with special needs, Ka?
Hello, everybody. I'm Sadhana. I love children. So actually, anything to do with children, I'm very, very comfortable with. And of course, our home science, child psychology also helped me a lot. And then I used to go for a voluntary service in a home in Sivakasi. Sivakasi is a very small town in India. And I used to go to a home, and there I met lots of special children. So, you know, their love was very unconditional. And they had like, you know, after tasting that pure love, I think I had to do something for this society. So naturally, I think it got me there.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's a very heart-centered connection. I can feel it, and true. Like if you once experience that pure love, and you know, once you also have the heart to give back to the community, it's really amazing. So, given your background as a speech language pathologist and having worked with children with special needs, what age do you see parents bringing their children to an evaluation or screening?
Okay. So, as this is a very small town, there is no awareness. When I first entered the field, there was no awareness at all. So the parents, they were so reluctant to first accept the fact that the child has some difficulty, So, but then we tried to help them in all ways. So I started doing books for them, because I knew they will not first reach out. And then I started writing books for them. So like my skill development manuals, so that the parents will actually, that will be a small guide for them to um, the goals, to reach the goal, to reach their goals. So we started it that way. And then, but now, of course, I mean, there is a bit of awareness now due to the social media and whatever. So all parents are reaching out for help. So we were able to, I mean, help a lot of children nowadays. But early intervention is what I focus. So I usually have children from 1.5 years, starting from 1.5 years, because when the parent finds out like there's something unusual in their child, they reach out for help nowadays. So we get children from 1.5 years.
Okay. That's really good that they're intervening that early, and I'm sure their pediatrician may also be guiding them to the right resources. I think maybe they may say, okay, if there is a delay, just go see this person. That's wonderful. And I noticed that your books, your manuals are available on Amazon for purchase, right? So if someone is watching this from India or any part of the world, so do check out the manuals. I will also put the links in the description, the details of the school. The idea of this conversation is to actually, as Sadhana mentioned, that to promote awareness, so that when someone is, honestly, when your child is developmentally delayed, um, sometimes you feel lost. You really don't know where to go for help and support, even though there are resources everywhere, even though with social media and all that. You really need an anchor, a coach or a mentor who would hold space and assure that this is just a delay, and you can slowly help your child and help them meet their milestones. So going to a resource like this, and like initially everyone will have denial. I know, I've been there, so I know what it is. So that's the idea of this whole conversation. So anyone watching this, please, if you know someone who would benefit from these resources, just kindly direct these resources to them. I know I'm going to be sharing this with a few people that I know in India, and they're going to benefit from this as well. So my next question to you is, as you said, since early intervention, you're focusing on early intervention. How early do you think people can, you answered that question. So when they come to you as early as 1.5, what kind of problems do they come up? Do they share with you? What are the delays that you notice in those children?
Okay, they come here mainly for speech, because there is definitely a speech problem. And then, but there are a lot of associative problems like visual track. They have a very, they don't have an eye contact. They're very low in the visual tracking skills, or, I mean, it's underdeveloped. And then they have these auditory problems, which the parents wouldn't have noticed at all. So all these motor problems and everything, we'll have to take an assessment of everything. And there's one main thing in autism. Autism is actually three main things in autism. So one, a communication disorder will definitely be there, a social disorder, and another one is a sensory disorder. Usually the sensory is the one which is, I mean, there is no awareness at all. At least in our place, there is no awareness at all for sensory disorders. So we have to very carefully assess all these three things. And then, we have to do a proper assessment, and then we have to start intervening the child. So mostly everybody falls around this in the sensory thing. So we have to take a lot of steps for integrating the sensory part.
Right. Thank you for shedding light on that. And do you also see delays like, walking, the delays in walking, everything, the milestones that children meet, especially in the 0 to 18 months. some kids, they do very fast, like by 10 months, they're just walking and running, and they're saying words, they're pointing. So I'm sure there are delays in all those areas as well, I think, when you begin the evaluation. Because
Exactly.
I think that is when parents, especially when they have peers of the same age, if they're also doing all these things, you just become like, what is going on with my child? Why my child is not doing anything, right?
I know.
So yeah, so parents, if you notice, if you're a new parent, if you notice any delays in your child, just help is there. Do intervene as early as possible. So what are your thoughts on speaking and teaching in two languages to children? You're in India, and in the area where you live, Tamil is spoken largely.
Yeah.
So because I remember when I took my son for an evaluation, they were asking, like, they all want to rule out the possibility of if the speech delay is because we're speaking in our language. So they'd always encourage me to speak. They always encouraged me to speak in English with him. But eventually, I noticed that he picked up both the languages. So, what are your
Languages.
thoughts on that?
Okay, so usually this multilingual and this bilingual problems comes, but I am definitely not for that. And
Hmm.
out here in our therapy, we do in both the languages, in Tamil and in English, because I feel like all the children can do very
Hmm.
well in languages. And
Hmm.
mostly the autistic children,
Hmm.
they're super good in learning languages. They can learn so many
Hmm.
languages. I know a child who can, I mean, he can speak and he can read in so many languages, which is completely, that is really blown out my mind, because he
Hmm.
has learned Spanish. He knows like so many other languages, but the mother
Hmm.
and father, they know only Tamil. But the
Hmm.
child knows all languages, which he has picked
Different
it from
languages.
the media, of course.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
they are able to. So we don't have to give
Yeah.
therapy in
Hmm.
one single language, and
Hmm.
uh, that
Hmm.
really doesn't bother us at all. We do
Hmm.
it in in the language they are comfortable with.
Awesome, awesome. That's wonderful. Like, there's a lot of stigma and a lot of bias attached to this bilingual thing. But as
Yeah.
you said, they are very keen and observant, and they just pick up all the sounds and vibrations in their environment. So, which I
Mhm.
totally agree. So my next question is, once the child gets identified with a speech or developmental delay, so apart from recommending, speech therapy, of course, is one main thing, which is part of the early intervention. So do you also give training to the parents who come with their children for interventions? Do you train the parents as
Yes.
well?
Parental training is more important than
Mm,
training the child. Okay,
mm,
so because
okay.
when they come to us, they are just here for an hour or so, or they can just spend 2 hours here. But most of
Mm,
the time they are with the parents. So the parent have the right to know about what the child is undergoing,
mm,
and so we have to train the parents. And of course, the
mm,
parents, they don't really know anything about the
mm,
autism.
mm,
So we always organize workshops. We have like
mm,
I even conduct stress buster workshops for mothers. We know like
mm.
they're all very stressful. So we conduct stress buster
Yeah.
workshops for women. So my motto is keep mothers happy. So then
Mm.
automatically the child will
The
become
child
happier.
is happy. Happy.
So,
Very true.
I'm very,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very, very keen on keeping my moms happy. So I celebrate everything with
Right.
the parents. I celebrate all
Mm,
festivals with them. And
mm,
this book is actually mainly for them. I wrote it mainly for the
mm.
parents. So it'll be very, very
Parents.
simple. It won't have any
Mm,
complicated words and all. So it'll
mm,
be very simple,
mm,
and so that
mm,
every mother should learn whatever, I mean,
mm,
from it, and she has to,
mm,
and it will
mm,
be very goal specific, that book
mm,
is. So she can just
mm,
I mean, tick the goals. Okay, my son does
mm,
this. Okay, he does
mm,
this. Oh, she'll just tick it out. So at the end of the
mm.
day, she'll say like, okay, ma, wow. So she'll get that confidence to face
Right.
it. Illana,
Right.
she'll be completely worried, and she will really be
Mm,
she'll be lost, Ilya. So I
right.
think
Right.
like we have to I mean, so we conducted a sensory expo. we had a sensory expo once in our center. Like we had centers for vestibular, we had centers for proprioceptive input, we had for auditory. Either so the parent can bring the child, she can go around she can experiment with because sensory is one topic which has never been touched,
addressed.
and
Yeah,
most of the parents haven't known about it at all. So I mean, this was a really an eye opener, and most of the parents found it very interesting, and they'll test everything with their children, and they came to know like, okay, my son is not touching this gluey thing. So I know that, so there is tactile sensitivity there, so they can experience it. So we had like sensory expo for the parents, and then we celebrate everything with them. We had we every month I used to bring in some experts to talk to them about their nutrition, about OT, occupational therapy, and everything. So parental training, according to me, is very, very, very important. And only when they get it here, they'll be satisfied, and they'll know the child first. So only when they start knowing the child, they'll start identifying the smaller problems in them, right? Only when they tell me about it, like, okay, ma'am, he's not able to bend and take the things. Ma'am, he's running, but he's not able to jump. Only when we assess all those things, okay, we have to concentrate on that. So I always tell my parents, like, just list out the things he does and list out the things he doesn't. So what is therapy? It is like, whatever he doesn't do, make him do it. As simple as that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Parental training, as you said, is very, very important, and every parent should know about their child. Yeah.
Beautifully said. And as you said, you try to you always make sure that the parents are happy. And I think every child wants their mother to be happy. We actually think the other way. We want that the mother wants a child. We think if my child is happy, I'll be happy. But the truth is, when we are happy, they are automatically happy, because once we are stressed, and they just pick it up from us right away. Whether they are talking or not talking, they're just like, especially moms. They don't want moms to be upset. They pick it up right away, and they don't know what to do. What did I do wrong? So just it's awesome that
So
you're encouraging that.
yeah. One more thing is,
Go
like,
ahead. Go
when
ahead.
the child comes in, my staff my assistants will ask me, ma'am, like, what are the goals for him? I always tell them, first make the child laugh, giggle, or you make him happy, and then we'll start the therapy. Because and the first thing they learn from here is a high five. They learn from here is a shake hands. They learn from here is a small a gesture of kissing or a hugging or something like that. That helps it a lot. So the first thing a child comes here and they learns is always a high five, because they want encouragement. They love encouragement. They look at your face for for every accomplishment. So it's lovely to be with the kids. And so I always wanted kids to be very happy. So I make them laugh. I do all silly, naughty things to do them first, to make them laugh. And then we'll start. Because I've seen so many, I was worried, because when child comes here without even just a smile on the face, it's so disheartening, because a child is supposed to laugh at least 400 times a day. But now I don't see children laughing at all. And as we grow, like adults, we do only 17 times a day. Actually, according to psychology, we do only 17 times a day. Then, so
I have to remind. I don't know if I'm doing even that.
I know it's all smiles are just vanishing from the world, and I think we'll have to bring back a few.
The smiles, yeah. Beautifully said. I'm with you on that. Yeah, let's bring more smiles into the world. So my next question to you is, could you talk a little bit about what other skills are introduced to children along with speech and language? You kind of answered that in the previous question, but anything else, like play skills and
See,
what else?
everything is taught through play out here, right? So we have we have a school readiness program where the child will be will be made ready for the school. So I think there they'll have I have separate goals for each programs we have, and then we have like one-on-one sessions where the child will have individual and I'll have separate goals for that also. So when after the assessment we'll have to write each goals individually. The motor skills, you said, like he'll be good in running and he'll be walking, but he doesn't know how to jump with both feet, above the ground. So we have to take in everything seriously, and we have to address each and every problem with one another. So we have like one-on-one sessions, and we have like after school tutoring. So after schools they come, after they going to a normal school, they come here for some difficulties in reading, writing. So we address each everything separately. And I have prepared my own goal sheets. I have prepared my own checklists and my own resources. I would like to make my own resources, because when I see like my child cannot answer a simple yes or no question, or a simple WH questions like what, where, when, why, I feel it's like make it in a very play way. So I make my resources in a very play way method, and we have individual resources. And I would like to also tell you about my kit. So this is the speech and language, the language development kit. And there is another kit called a Speakeasy beginner kit. So that will be the beginner kit, and this is a language kit, which I have made it myself for, and everything inside will be in a fun playway method. So, like for example, there'll be a big mat and a big dice in it. So when you roll the dice, you have to jump up to that number, and that number will have some comments like, okay, jump 3 times, or clap your hands above your head. It'll have some comments. So you follow those comments and then just move on. So you just sit in front of a child and you make a child to say like, clap your hands, or just do something like this. I mean, they don't usually do it, right? So, and one more thing is music. They love music. So I use a lot of, I create songs for them. Like I want them to do do some comment like, so I do like, tap the table, touch your nose, close your eyes, hands above. So like we do some
So cute.
uh, songs like that, and that's fun. They look at your eyes, they respond so quickly to that. So to make therapy a bit very easy, to make it to the, I think we have to be creative
Fun,
in working, fun and
of
creative
course.
in working with the
Right.
child. Yeah.
Yeah. And that to kids this age, they are very 8 out of 10 of them, they are actually teaching us, right? So in order to
Exactly.
teach them, we have to we have to be, so proactive and creative. I totally agree. So just anything else, if you feel that anything else can be of value to our conversation, please feel free to share your, thoughts, comments, anything that can be valuable to the audience. Yeah.
Okay. So one more thing is, in India, I don't get so much of resources, because when I surf like in US, of course, in UK, you get a lot of resources for the children. So here we don't get as much of resources. So people like me have started making our own resources. I think it'll
This is,
be nice when we get resources are available for us also. So for now, I've started building my own small like eye contact room. So to improve eye contact, like I have lots of lights there, a dark room with you know all this we have
yeah.
made it like we have to do it ourselves. But in US, I think you have like things and resources available for everybody. So maybe if we get
Right.
it, I think it will be very useful
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. So in the school
And
system in the US also, there are, depending on the schools and where the location, the resources can be sometimes limited. But when it comes to alternative therapies and like the vision therapy or the, oral motor therapy and all that, there are, trained specialists for that. And those kind of interventions are more available, easily accessible
available.
to people in the US. And also, sometimes, there are issues with insurance, but some of them, it's improving, behavioral therapy and all these therapies, sensory
Yeah.
integration are all, getting paid by at least part of it gets paid by the insurance, which is helpful for the parents as well. So but I think, from what you were when I was talking to you, when you were sharing all the about the kits that you're making, I think that's really good. If as a teacher, as a therapist, but speech language pathologist, you're bringing up these resources, and I think the more you work with children, the more feedback input that you get from parents. I think you can keep adding to it. I think, and parents
Yeah,
also sometimes, through your training, they also get this hands-on training, and they come up with ideas to help their children. And
very
I
true.
feel I feel my son is 23, and I still go back and work on certain basics, because those are all now that I don't think that, like, it's 23, he's 23 and it's not applicable. But even at 23, like, certain things can be very accessible and applicable. And as they grow
Yeah,
older, it's easier to catch up when they are older. Some of the things that we struggle to teach them when they are young, they just pick it up, and even as you said, it just blows our mind. So it's never too late to teach the children any skill, teach the individual any skill. So
very true.
that's just my take from whatever you shared. Of course, resources are always the more resources we have, it's always good. But it's as long as it's customized and tailored to meet the needs of the individual, I think that's when you begin to see results, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
So
want to, before we wrap, yeah, go ahead, Guy. If you want to share anything, please share.
yeah, so I take care of this early intervention, and then we had like another set of children coming in for
Mm,
with learning difficulties. Okay,
yeah,
so what
right.
we thought was like learning disability is again another one
Mm,
big
mm,
threat to the
mm,
society
mm,
now. And these
right.
children cannot be fit inside a very normal curriculum, and they cannot be fit
Right.
inside a special
Mm,
curriculum also. So there was
right.
a very big, there was a very big gap, and we thought we will bridge
Right.
that with a school for
Mm,
learning disability children.
mm,
So we started a
mm,
school with help of two doctors and myself.
mm,
We started a school for learning disability, and now there are just
mm,
33 children there, but still
mm,
all
mm,
adolescent boys. Most of them are
mm,
boys, and
mm,
a very few girls
mm,
there.
mm,
But
mm,
now we see that like teaching them the way they want, they can learn, that is very important.
mm, mm,
So we
mm,
found out some small strategies to do so,
mm,
and that
mm,
is really working. And now we have
mm,
like two children who passed out their 12th from our school,
mm.
and like
Wow.
about 8 children finished their 10th standard from school.
Mm,
And we are
mm,
very happy about it, and that is the biggest achievement, I think, like we have made it. And
right.
now
Right.
we have opened a small vocational unit for them. And my children are
Mm,
very good
mm,
in computers, so we have
mm, mm,
introduced the Canva app to them, and they are good in
mm. Oh, they're doing
designing
all the,
our own.
yeah, can.
Yeah, they are
Wow.
designing our
Yeah.
invitations. They are designing our school's
Mm,
profile. They're,
mm,
it's nice.
mm,
But
mm,
I think we'll have to move on to the next step. So we are just
mm,
working on it.
mm,
And
mm,
when there is an adult child, the parents are
mm,
asking
mm,
us next, my ma'am, like
mm,
what
mm,
to do with my
mm,
child.
mm,
So
mm,
we have plans there. We want a
mm,
small industry for them. We are trying
mm,
to
mm,
uh,
mm,
build one,
mm,
uh,
mm,
which I
mm.
think will be soon possible. So, and
Wow.
seek the true love and
Yeah.
their potentiality. I think like we have to
Mm,
do so much for this society,
mm,
and
mm.
we will definitely. I will keep you posted. And one more thing, this
Awesome.
April 6th for the autism awareness, we are doing a big autism carnival. We are celebrating an autism carnival in our place. Some about 10 or 15 special schools have enrolled with this. So we are going to have a talent show or a talent display on that day, and some carnival games for them. So this is a small thing we are taking for this year, and soon we have to come up with some permanent project for this adult children. So with hopefully with God's blessings, I think we'll be able to, and we would will
Sure.
definitely go with it.
All the very best, Sadhnaka, for all your, all your endeavors, future endeavors and projects. You have a big heart, and yes, the children are very lovable, but then one needs to have a big heart in order to serve the community. And I can see that you have it. Wishing you the best. Before we wrap up, I just want to read the, awards and recognition that Sadhana has received. She has received the Best President Award for Lions Cosmos Club, Best District Chairman and Award for Lioness Club, Manadil Nindra Manidi Award by JCRET Conference 2019, Vocational Excellence Award by Rotary Club of Pyro City 2020, Social Service Excellence Award by Inner Wheel Club of Sivakasi, Outstanding Achievement Social Worker Award by JCI Sivakasi Duchess Club, Pudumai Pen Award by Tanishk, Women Leaders Forum for Contribution to Social Work in New Delhi. So these are the awards and recognition. And the services offered at their center is speech therapy, occupational therapy, sensory integration therapy, IQ assessment, ABA therapy for autism, cognitive behavior therapy, social skill training, motor skill training, academic skill training with innovative learning strategies, multisensory teaching techniques, and online tutoring. And authors, she's an author, mentor, coach. So please take advantage of her services. If you're a parent or a speech language speech therapist or a teacher who wants to get trained or benefit from her products, reach out to her, and I will give all the details in the description. Thank you so much, Sadhana, for joining me today. And I know today is Good Friday. She said she has to go to the church for Mass. So thank you so much for taking your precious time. And it's just been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you.
Thank you, Ka.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.